Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Tammy Gazelle and I'm a Marawari woman. I'm recording this message today on the traditional lands of the Cadigal, Wangal and Beedigal clans of the Darug Nation. I send my respects out to all Darug people for having me on your land today, and to the Ngunnawal for hosting the Bold Festival. And I further extend my true respects to all First Nations people everywhere who never ceded sovereignty for yesterday, today and tomorrow. Thank you for having me on your land. I was born out the back of Burke on a boiling hot January morning of 1978. I arrived at a respectable 10:30 a.m. on the day I was due, Sunday's child, and so my story begins. The quirk of fate that has me appear today virtually is not lost, given we are meeting today to discuss virtual powers, reflecting on how these inform a sense of presence for contemporary First Nations dancers and dance makers. For those of you who know how resistant I am to technology, exasperated to the highest degree in these current times, should get a virtual kick out of seeing me appear this way. I will do my best to keep my particles in place as we go along. So let's yarn up. When I first started my university training, I was blessed to have come across the writings of Susanne K Langer, and in 1953 she wrote, "The dancer or dancers must transform the stage for the audience as well as for themselves into an autonomous, complete virtual realm, and all motions into a play of visible forces in unbroken virtual time. Both space and time, as perceptible factors, disappear almost entirely in the dance illusion." This floored me. This talk of forces at play now made visible through the dance mate, it hit me in the gut. Never before or since has something rung so vitally true from academe to me as to what is actually going on in the dance. So even though 20 odd years ago I agreed, yes, dance is a play of forces in virtual time, I haven't really had the chance to unpack it until now. And so this paper is a luxurious opportunity to reflect on why Langer has always been my go-to, my holdfast when it comes to understanding the nature of dance. I suppose my appreciation of Langer's writing began because I trust the dance force to be true as you and I meeting here today. Virtual, yes, but true. For example, we're together today and in this moment, except that we are not. We are here and we are there. We're together. We're coexisting in a virtual realm. The definition of virtual is something being such practically or in effect, although not in actual fact or name. So the virtual thing is the thing, practically or in effect, except that it is not. To state that we are virtual shapeshifters and interdimensional travelers seems quite obvious to me. I wonder what your journey into the dance was, how and when you knew the dance was your inheritance too, and if your knowing was the same as mine. The compulsion to move, to reach out into the evermore, to dissolve, melt and mingle with the space around me has been mine for as long as I can remember. Has it been yours too? My heart the charge, gut the firehouse, my skin the transducer, thighs and hips and buttocks aflame, burning in all the wrong and oh so right places to propel us forward into our duty. Pain has been our friend and our teacher. Out of breath is home, sweet home. Sweat and dirt and bunions, our shared traditional knowledge, dancer's knowledge. I want you to think back to a time when you ended up in that one cast, that one piece where truly baseline space-time does transition. It shifts, changes frequency, dissolves or whatever quantum process that is that charges the space. And you are now in it. Your cast is too. You are moving in a way which has stirred the space in just the right way to transform it on a purely quantum level, together. You know it, they know it, the audience, the choreographer, everybody, the gods themselves are in it with you. And you sure are vibrating a new frequency field into existence, literally a virtual reality. You are at once creating and existing in a dance illusion. The inseparable binding of you and your cast to the piece through the piece is unmistakable, and this is true tribal oneness. This is the ensemble dynamic, the collective knowing, being, doing, and unity beyond unison. We are spread out and stuck together in a complete and autonomous realm. The dance illusion is the zone. This is as true on 42nd Street as it is for Martha Graham and all her company in their gut-wrenching glory, or even if you were having your moment in the lounge room. Dancing is vibrational. It is electric, literally. Dance electricity is shared, even when you think you were dancing alone. Every dance and dancer a contribution to the primary illusion. Every dance and dancer a contribution to the primary illusion. Every dance and dancer, we are one. And virtually everything we do is a cross-cultural exchange. Let me explain. In the lead up to writing this paper, I've really tried to take stock of what it is to be a dancer who's also First Nations. And what is it that I wanted to say? Who am I? What is my dance? What is my dance for? And if you are attending this lecture, then I imagine, I pray actually for the lot of us, that this is what you are going through and going through your minds and bodies and souls today too. Who are we? What is our dance? What is our dance for? Fellow dancers, comrades, movers and shakers, space invaders, horizon hunters, corrie lovers, we are one. We are all Indigenous to somewhere. We are all electric. We are all mob, kindred, allied water bags with stories. We are all Indigenous to somewhere. And this is our passport into the everywhen. Some call it the dreaming, the Akashic record, or the collective unconscious. That virtual space where all that has been, and is to be exists together. The collective unconscious, the Akashic record. The dreaming is yours. The dreaming is mine. And this is a source of all creative power, no matter what you call it. So let's break it down. Langer wrote, the dancer or dancers must transform the stage for the audience as well as for themselves into an autonomous, complete virtual realm. And I think we'd be pretty hard pressed to find a dancer who disagrees with this. This is really the bread and butter here. And it's my contention a space cannot transform unless the dancer is capable of allowing themselves to transform along with it. Surely every dancer recognises from the very first consciously recreated movement intended to be performed that the responsibility sits squarely with them to transform the space. We literally command the space, as so it is perceived, by the effect of our movements, their pace and quality have on it. What is it that we are doing when we move which allows us to transform ourselves and the very same space that we are all inhabiting with you, the viewer? It is my belief that by energetically connecting with the collective unconscious, the dreaming, or whatever you want to call it, the old stories, and bringing them back into life through the act of re-embodying them is what makes the primary illusion of dance happen. Langer continues, and all motions form into a play of visible forces in unbroken virtual time. Both space and time as perceptible factors disappear almost entirely in the dance illusion. Now, I should explain the term illusion refers to a specific form of sensory distortion. Unlike a hallucination, which is a distortion in the absence of a stimulus, an illusion describes a misinterpretation of a true sensation. And I would like to say here that it describes an interpretation or a reinterpretation of a true sensation. I would add here that your training, your discipline, your repetition and reflection within any dance tradition you have come up through allows you not only the opportunity, but the right to interpret those true sensations that you are experiencing within the dance as they contribute to the primary illusion of the dance. In the context of this discussion, it occurs to me that if illusion is a distortion of a sense that I'm really experiencing, then the dance illusion becomes a matter of perception and having the eyes to see, so to speak. The primary illusion is created by dancers with the physical and energetic organisation in place to channel the virtual dance powers correctly within the dance. The veil is drawn back through repetition and reflection, deepening your quantum knowing of the energetic pathways of the choreography or your emotional journey through the piece. Langer is right when she asserts that space and time as perceptible factors disappear because the dance exists within the intermingling of space-time. It is its own autonomous and complete realm. It has been this way since the first circle dances in caves. The dance, by its very nature of reflecting and representing, gave birth to virtual gesture, replication of the original gesticulation for the sake of performing it. The dance gesture is not a real gesture, but a virtual one. We, dancers, we're already existing in the metaverse. We've been traversing back and forth between here and there for eons. What matters is that we're all connected through our ability to traverse between the primary illusion of the dance, which is really the realm of virtual powers made manifest in the actions of the dancer, and back again to the base reality we tend to share with others. And we are duty bound to continue as more of baseline reality is swallowed up by the virtual. We have to remember we didn't make this all up, this physical dancing, the sensory engagement and response. We have inherited it, the sacred calling to commune with the unseen forces, the human desire to move, to gesticulate, to groove. We didn't start this fire, but we have to keep it burning. It is our duty, no matter where you come from. We are united in the dance. We have kept the dance alive for aeons, all of us, everywhere. And that is so important. This is all our work. Small stokings after ice ages, sparks of remembrance, glimmers in new eyes, sunrise on faces, reckonings of nascent souls in space and time. The primordial rum-tum-tum, returning the compulsion to express, to communicate without a shared language beyond pure physicality. Gesture. And so more, once more, we learn to speak through the dance. Does any of this have anything to do with me being a black fella? Yes. Why? Because I have an access point to the everywhere and the every when. And what is this access point? The dreaming. But you have them too. The collective unconscious, the akashic, the mythology of your people and of the world we all live in. This is your inheritance and your access point to the everywhere and the everywhere. But how do we do this? Through the stories, the old stories, like spools of twine in a labyrinth, they lead us home. We must remember that oral tradition and mythology are one and the same. Mythology is the study of the spoken story of a people. The old stories, the oral traditions of our ancestors have intimately crafted the specific contexts and environments, gestures, postures, movements, which have been passed down for generations. These are traditional knowledges embodied for a reason. As Joseph Campbell points out in The Hero with 1,000 Faces, why is mythology everywhere the same beneath its varieties of costume, and what does it teach? If ever there was a time to know what your story is, it is now. If ever there was a time to know what your dancing is really for, it is now. It becomes then a question of what is your reason? What is this dance for? Dr. Karen Perlman of the Physical TV company asked me sometime around 2014, as part of her documentary Doesn't Fit in a Box, and she asked me, what is dance for? Again, absolutely floored me. And it stayed with me in such a potent way, and today really drives home the point that it comes down to intention. What are you and I dancing for? A wise woman once said to me, Tammy, we dance for those who may not. The important thing is to have a reason, even if the reason is to have no reason, and to simply move for the joy of it. Seems that you have to be real if you want to be part of the dance illusion. When I recognize that the fundamentals of composition are the same as those of base reality, space, creating bodies, using energy, creating time, I accept that we are always together in the dance illusion. And my friends, I'm so grateful to have been in it for this while with you. Thank you.